Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 383 based on novel. So let's start. Bingmai left. She had come to tell Wang Lin what happened in the alliance. There was no other talk between them, it was as if he didn't want to mention it and she didn't want to talk about it. Before she left, Bingmai's figure under the moonlight stopped outside the courtyard. She paused for a moment and didn't turn around but whispered something. Li Qianmai is pretty good. However, you still can't forget little sister Wan. I believe that if little sister Wan woke up, she wouldn't want to see you be lonely for thousands of years. I don't want to see you like this either. After today, I'll head to the God Sect to recover and probably won't leave closed-door cultivation for 1,000 years. I don't know if we will meet again in 1,000 years. However, Wang Lin, I have something I want to say to you. I'm Liu Mai, Wang Ping's mother. When I unshackle myself from the brilliant void realm, I'll accompany Wang Ping through countless reincarnation cycles and be a real mother, Bingmai muttered as she gradually walked away. Her Dao heart gradually moved toward completion after she spoke these words. 1,000 illusion ruthless domain. 10,000 illusion demon domain. In the end, it slowly changed. Among the brilliant void saintesses, only one person had ever succeeded in the spell inherited by the brilliant void saintess, and everyone else failed. Bingmai had taken a shortcut by using avatars but failed with Liu Mai. Her Dao heart was incomplete and thus a crack appeared on the strongest spell of the brilliant void realm. This crack was Liu Mai, also Wang Lin, but more so Wang Ping. However, at this moment, as Bingmai had experienced everything so far, she no longer avoided that crack. She chose to face it, to accept it. It was due to this change that her Dao began to show signs of completion. Ruthlessness and affection were two sides of the same coin. Cultivation, if one uses the ruthlessness of the heavens to cultivate Dao, the final result won't be good enough to be called Dao. When a cultivator had a hint of affection, they would be able to use it to defy Dao. This allowed the cultivator to have something precious to guard, so they would be willing to struggle against the world. The crack on Bingmai's Dao heart already contained Wang Lin's figure. As her way of thinking changed and her Dao gradually recovered, his figure became an imprint under her ruthless domain. Taking this imprint, her Dao had entered the path to completion. Inside the courtyard, under the moonlight, there were fragrances of two different women that had accompanied Wang Lin. He stood there under the moonlight, pondering for a long time. Time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, several days went by. The competition between the rank 8 sects was approaching, and it was time to depart. Bingmai left the everlasting sect with Wang Shanshan. Wang Shanshan received word from her teacher to quickly return to the God Sect. The everlasting sect naturally didn't dare to stop them. Before they left, Bingmai didn't turn around. She was proud, she was the brilliant void saintess. The brilliant void realm was destroyed, leaving only her. From this moment on, she no longer belonged to herself. It was her responsibility to cultivate to restore the brilliant void realm, to fulfill the responsibility of the brilliant void saintess. This was a responsibility she had avoided for a long time, but now she chose to confront it and would no longer run away. Her conversation with Wang Lin had resolved the disturbance in her heart. She buried that memory deep within her heart and sealed it. Li Qianmai was also going to leave. She had received an urgent call from her master to return. The jade didn't include what happened, but with harsh words, he ordered Li Qianmai to use the everlasting sect's transfer array to return to the heaven-breaking sect. It felt like something hidden was moving. Li Qianmai couldn't disobey her teacher's words. The heaven-breaking sect had given her everything and her teacher had raised her. Although her teacher didn't say the reason, she had never seen such stern words from him. She only had time to say goodbye before entering the transfer array of the everlasting sect. After being transferred several times, she went to the heaven-breaking sect. Her heart was confused. She didn't know why her teacher had sent out such an anxious order. In her memory, her teacher had always been calm and had never been like this. She didn't know why, but she had a feeling that something bad was going to happen. After Mu Bingmai and Li Qianmai left, Wang Lin left the Everlasting Sect with the Sect Master and High Elders. They headed to the location of the competition between the rank 8 sects. That was the real main event. The Everlasting Sect's Sect Master was very confident in this battle. He believed that the other rank 8 sects would without a doubt lose and the Everlasting Sect would become number 1. Because with Wang Lin's arrival, the competition was no longer balanced. The Everlasting Sect had an overwhelming advantage. In the eyes of the Sect Master and High Elders, the battle was no longer important, it was all about the expressions of shock on the rest of the rank 8 sects once the battle was over. However, just like what Wang Lin and Mu Bingmai said, the world was unpredictable. Half an hour before the Everlasting Sect was going to leave, a ray of light shot out from the Everlasting Sect. This ray of light contained a heaven-shaking aura, and it shot straight toward the Sect Master. There was an old man inside the ray of light. Wang Lin hadn't seen this old man before, but from the halo coming from his body, he was also someone at the Heaven's Blight stage. This old man's expression was very gloomy, and without a word, he threw a jade at the Sect Master. The Sect Master frowned as he caught the jade. After his divine sense scanned the jade, his expression changed greatly. Then his expression became gloomy and popping sounds came from his body. His anger had reached a limit. He let out a cold snort and handed the jade to the 2 High Elders beside him. After the 2 Higher Elders checked it, their expressions became gloomy. It seemed like the entire sky had darkened. The High Elder that fought with Wang Lin clenched his teeth and roared like the cold wind, "What arrogance from the God Sect!" With one word from the God Sect, the grand competition that has existed among the rank 8 sects for tens of thousands of years was cancelled. I wonder what made the God Sect go crazy to cancel the rank 8 sect competition. My Everlasting Sect has prepared for many years for this competition, and now, with fellow cultivator Liu here, we could have easily taken first place. We could have swept away all the shame from the previous competitions. What right does the God Sect have to cancel it? Another High Elder sneered and revealed anger in his eyes. However, a sense of unwillingness and being wronged outweighed that anger. They were all powerful cultivators, and the Everlasting Sect wasn't a small sect. However, with just one jade from the God Sect, they had to accept this humiliation. The Sect Master silently pondered for a very long time and suddenly became tired. He let out a sigh and shook his head. Since the God Sect has passed down the order to cancel the competition, they must have their reasons. Only, the reason is not known to us. While feeling bitter, the Sect Master looked at Wang Lin and clasped his hands. Fellow cultivator Liu, the rank 8 competition has been cancelled by the God Sect. I must discuss this with rest of the elders. How about you take the Origin Sect back to the rank 5 region and prepare them to be moved to the rank 7 region? Wang Lin's expression was calm, but he felt a sense of fear, as if some heaven-shaking matter was descending. He pondered for a bit before his eyes lit up and he said, "Can I look at the jade from the God Sect?" The High Elder holding the jade waved his right hand and it flew toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin caught it and scanned it with his divine sense. There was only one line inside the jade. There is no need to continue the rank 8 sect competition. It concludes now. God Sect Jade. The moment Wang Lin's divine sense spread through it, he felt an indescribable power rush out from these words. It seemed to form a large handprint. Wang Lin was shocked, and he withdrew his divine sense. He returned the jade to the Everlasting Sect before clasping his hands and leaving. The Everlasting Sect members all had complicated feelings. Many were angry, but they were helpless and could only accept it. Li Qianmai accepted the heaven-breaking sect summon and quickly left. Mu Bingmai and Wang Shanshan were called back, but they don't know the reason. These things alone aren't suspicious, but the rank 8 sect competition being cancelled at the same time by the God Sect. All of this is too strange. Could it be that something big is going to happen in the Cloud Sea? Wang Lin frowned and was very puzzled. While pondering, he quickly returned to where the Origin Sect was and summoned Lu Yanfei and the others. They immediately packed up and used the transfer array to return to the continent of Mo Luo in the rank 5 region. Wang Lin vaguely felt like something bad was going to happen. This terrifying feeling was getting stronger and stronger. Even when he tried to cultivate, he couldn't calm himself down. Quickly, sort out the matters of the origin sect. I'll take you all to the rank 7 region in 3 days, then I'll leave. After he returned, he gave out the order and then immediately entered closed-door cultivation. His origin soul quickly entered the celestial sealing stamp and fused with the All-Seer's soul. This time, he fused with the All-Seer not to fight an enemy, but to borrow All-Seer's power to forcibly predict the unknown. At the same time, in the rank 9 heaven-breaking sect, the moment Li Qianmai returned to the sect, her expression changed greatly. Her serenity completely disappeared due to the shock of what she saw. 3 of the 10 high elders were sitting around the transfer formation Li Qianmai had appeared in. The transfer array no longer had the ability to transfer, it was now a sealing formation. Her teacher had left his almost perpetual closed-door cultivation and was sitting outside the formation. The moment Li Qianmai appeared, his eyes lit up and he stared at Li Qianmai. You're not allowed to step outside this formation for 3 months. Otherwise, you will be punished in accordance to the sect's rules. An undercurrent was moving within the Cloud Sea, and it had been caused by the God sect. It was interfering with a series of people. Li Qianmai was trapped by her sect and wasn't allowed to go anywhere for 3 months. Her teacher had come out of his perpetual closed-door cultivation to stop their most important disciple. He had his own difficulties. He had to do this for Li Qianmai's safety. Bingmai was confused about all of this, but she vaguely felt like something was wrong. She went to the God sect with Wang Shanshan but didn't see Wang Shanshan's teacher, who was the person with the highest power in the God sect. The head elder, Daoist Water. The moment she entered the God sect, she was placed into a closed-door cultivation room. The God sect would provide all pills, but she wasn't allowed to step out. If she knew that the rank 8 sect competition had been cancelled, with her intelligence, she would have become suspicious. Even if she couldn't find the real cause, she would have seen some clues. However, right now Bingmai didn't know any of this. Even Li Qianmai didn't know that the rank 8 sect competition had been cancelled by the God sect. The undercurrent diffused across the Cloud Sea. On the continent of Mo Luo, all the origin sect disciples were hastily packing up under Lu Yanfei's order. It had taken 3 days to clean everything up. They were now ready to leave this rank 5 region they had spent countless years living in and move to the new origin sect prepared by the everlasting sect in the rank 7 region. Wang Lin was sitting inside a secret room in the origin sect. His mind was fused with the All-Seer's soul inside the celestial sealing stamp. At this moment, he seemed to become the All-Seer. Everything in the world seemed to be under his control, but that was only on the surface. After fusing with the All-Seer's soul, Wang Lin sat down and his hands formed a seal. His mind spread into the sky and he began merging with the heavens. He took a day to finally reach a point where he was the heavens and the heavens were him. Under this fused state, Wang Lin's origin soul seemed to leave his body and merge with the world. This allowed his and the All-Seer's souls to reach an unprecedented level of fusion. Inseparable. If he was just using the All-Seer's attack spell, Wang Lin wouldn't have to merge with it so deeply. However, he wasn't attacking, but relying on the All-Seer's soul to predict the future to find the root of what was causing him to feel so terrified. However, this kind of prediction was too difficult for Wang Lin. He was, after all, not the All-Seer, and was only using a small part of the All-Seer's original ability within his soul to predict the future by force. At this moment, in his mind, his eyes were covered by boundless fog, making him unable to see anything at all. It was as if there was a force shrouding the world, not allowing him to see the root cause. However, Wang Lin didn't give up, and all his origin energy moved, causing him to fuse even more with the All-Seer. As their integration became deeper, he seemed to forget some things. He forgot that he was cultivating and that he was at the origin sect in the Cloud Sea. At this moment, he forgot all of this. The fog that covered the world began to rapidly rotate, and a thunderous rumble echoed in his mind. It was as if a pair of giant, invisible hands were moving this fog, causing a vortex to appear. The moment the vortex appeared, a thunderous rumble only he could hear descended and landed on the vortex. At this instant, the vortex collapsed and rapidly scattered. The moment the vortex scattered, Wang Lin saw the scene hidden by the fog. Inside the picture, there was a pair of eyes, and the eyes exuded a merciless, cold gaze. This pair of eyes was looking indifferently at a person looking up at the sky. The moment he saw the picture, his mind trembled as if hundreds of thousands of thunderclaps had exploded in his mind. His mind nearly collapsed and the vortex split apart by the thunder rapidly reformed and hid the picture once more. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes, and his face instantly turned pale. That earth was the continent of Mo Luo. The cultivator who was looked up at the sky was me. The owner of the eyes has heaven-shaking cultivation. Before him, I'll without a doubt die. Wang Lin looked up at the sky. His gaze seemed to be able to penetrate through the chamber and land on the sky above Mo Luo. Right now the sky was clear and sunny. Fusing with the all-seer soul to see the future is my limit, but I'm unwilling to let this be. I want to see it again. While pondering, Wang Lin let out a cold snort, then his right hand formed a seal and pointed to between his eyebrows. He opened his mouth to spit out a ghostly light that turned into the celestial sealing stamp before him. The celestial sealing stamp rapidly rotated. The wails that came out of it could shock the mind of anyone. Wang Lin's hands formed a seal, and he placed a seal on the celestial sealing stamp. It immediately trembled and began to shine. It lit up the dark room completely. Inside the ghostly light, the all-seer's soul stepped out and stood before Wang Lin. Magic arsenal, soul return, heaven and earth are boundless, accommodate heaven's tribute. Wang Lin rarely recited the full chant when using spells. However, the spell he was trying to use was very powerful. It was a profound Tao intent within magic arsenal. The moment he said the chant, the all-seer's soul's eyes shined brightly and he walked forward. He went through Wang Lin and seemed to overlap with Wang Lin. At this moment, the all-seer's soul turned around, facing the same direction as Wang Lin, and sat down. It looked like the all-seer's soul had become Wang Lin's origin soul. At this moment, his origin soul seemed to have become integrated with Wang Lin. This was no longer the fusion where Wang Lin's mind entered the celestial sealing stamp, this was a complete integration. The moment the all-seer's soul sat down and they overlapped, it was already impossible to tell them apart. His body seemed to change drastically, it sometimes became the all-seer and sometimes became himself. At this moment, Wang Lin's eyes closed and his mind trembled. The boundless fog appeared again, and this time it was even stronger. There was also a vortex rapidly rotating, and as Wang Lin roared, the vortex collapsed and the fog scattered once more. It revealed a picture inside. This picture wasn't static, but moving. Inside the picture, Wang Lin coughed out blood on the continent of Mo Luo. His body immediately collapsed, and the moment his origin soul flew out, it dissipated. The picture changed once more. This time Wang Lin's face was pale as he fled through space. He didn't get far when a mirror appeared before him, and that pair of ruthless eyes was in it. With one gaze, Wang Lin's body collapsed and his origin soul died. The picture changed again. This time it was more complete. What appeared was Wang Lin inside the chamber. He looked up and didn't hesitate to leave. He paid no attention to the sect that was still packing and flew off into space. The picture didn't show the passage of time. An unknown amount of time passed, and as Wang Lin escaped, a pair of eyes seemed to pierce through the star fog, landing on his body. The picture moved again. This time Wang Lin had turned into an ancient god, and he was roaring at the sky. In the sky was an old man wearing a Daoist robe. The old man raised his hand and pointed down. Inside the picture, Wang Lin's body lost all ability to move. The old man closed in and pressed the spot between Wang Lin's eyebrows. He died once more. Pictures continued to appear, and it was different each time. It was unexpectedly Wang Lin thinking of all kinds of ways to struggle and escape. But in the end, he died. Died. Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and stared ahead. Cold sweat flowed down his forehead and his body. In a short period of time, his body was soaked by sweat. Dead. Thanks to the all-seer spell, I saw through thousands of possible futures, but I survived in none of them. No matter what, I'll die. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with madness, but even more so, a sense of unwillingness. He was sure that Li Qianmei's departure was related to him. Mu Bingmai's departure was related to him. The rank 8 sect competition being stopped was related to him. There was an extremely powerful third-step cultivator that wanted to kill him. This was not the same as the seven-colored realm, where the third-step cultivator had used power across space to make one palm. This was a third-step cultivator coming in their original body to take his life. I, Wang Lin, have been a heaven-defying cultivator all my life, and I have encountered countless life and death crises. No matter how big the crisis, I'll have to face it. I don't believe I can't find a way to break this death trap. If there is no way out, so what if I die? There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes as his hand reached out. His storage space opened and a number of fake heaven-defying beads flew out. He looked over the beads and then picked one up. Seven-colored light shined from his eyes, and as it shrouded his body, it entered the bead. The bead absorbed the seven-colored light and then suddenly collapsed into a seven-colored vortex that floated before Wang Lin. Staring at the seven-colored vortex, Wang Lin clenched his teeth and inhaled it into his mouth. His mind suddenly rumbled. Summon the Defying One's world prediction spell. Wang Lin's voice was filled with killing intent. He used his body as the heavens and earth to summon the spell of the Defying Ones to find that sliver of chance for survival. The moment his words echoed, Wang Lin's mind trembled and a powerful aura burst within his body. It rushed into his mind and fell on the picture. It tore apart all fog and allowed that last picture to appear. There was one person in that picture. This old man is Liu Jinbao, Dao name, Master Jinbao. Just as Wang Lin was calculating the future with the Defying One spell, the disciples of the Origin sect had already finished packing everything. They were waiting for Wang Lin in the main square. Originally, they were talking. There was confusion and excitement in their words. They already knew that the Origin sect wasn't going to be disbanded and was going to be moved to the rank 7 sect. However, just at this moment, the clear sky darkened and a shocking wail arrived. A ray of golden light closed in on the Origin sect. In an instant, this golden light arrived, and there was a jade inside the light. After the jade arrived, it floated above the Origin sect square. This sudden change caused an uproar among the disciples. Even Lu Yanfei and company's expressions changed because the aura from it was something only Nirvana Shatterer old monsters could release. It wasn't just any ordinary Nirvana Shatterer cultivator, but one at the peak of the Nirvana Shatterer stage. Just a jade was able to produce such a heaven-shaking effect. The sky changed colors, the clouds churned, and there were even faint signs of law. This old man is Liu Jinbao, Dao name, Master Jinbao. The majestic voice came from the jade and shrouded the entire Origin sect. Even the continent of Mo Luo trembled under this voice. Lu Yanfei had seen a lot in the rank 8 everlasting sect and therefore wasn't just an ordinary Nirvana Scryer cultivator. Her eyes lit up and she clasped her hands. I don't know why Senior Jinbao came to my Origin sect. Disaster is upon you and you don't even know it yourself, so I'll tell you. 3 days ago, someone found this old man. They wanted to buy the life of your entire Origin sect. The voice was filled with an inexplicable pressure. As the voice echoed, it was as if thunder was echoing, and it turned into law that merged with the world. All of this turned into pressure that weighed down the minds of the Origin sect disciples. Lu Yanfei's expression immediately changed. However, this old man has no feud with your Origin sect. Although I need Origin crystals to refine pills, I would rather not do something like this. However, if I have no other choice, I can only take the lives of your entire Origin sect. Lu Yanfei's eyes became cold as she sneered, but the other Origin sect disciples were filled with fear. All of you have already packed, ready to be disbanded. Forget it, the everlasting sect master once saved his old man and I owe him one. If you all satisfy me, this old man will send out a letter and prevent your Origin sect from being disbanded. This old man doesn't wish to kill your entire Origin sect. If you can take out enough Origin crystals or something equivalent, I'll put this matter to rest. The ancient voice gave off an undeniable aura along with the intent of threat. Due to the Nirvana Shatterer aura, this threat could shock the mind of those who heard it. Liu Yanfei pondered, but her expression became even more cold. Just at this moment, inside the chamber, Wang Lin opened his eyes and looked at the wall as if his gaze could pierce through it. Liu Jinbao. Wang Lin's face became cold as he stood up and separated from the All-Seer's soul. He swallowed the celestial sealing stamp and left the chamber. He appeared in the sky above the square in the origin sect. This old man's time is limited. I will only give you 15 minutes to consider. After 15 minutes, the peak Nirvana Shatterer aura spread out like crazy, but he didn't notice that Wang Lin was staring at it with a cold gaze, and his divine sense spread out. Wang Lin fused all his cultivation with his divine sense and swept it across Mo Luo. Using the aura from the jade, his divine sense quickly gathered in a mortal capital city in the southern part of the continent. This capital was bustling and the streets were filled with people. In the southern part of the city, there was an inn, and at this moment, inside a closed room, there was an old man sitting there. He gave off the air of a celestial, had white hair, and wore a white robe. His eyes were closed and there was a jade floating before him. This jade was crystal clear and seemed to contain the world, but, strangely, it gave off no aura. Even while looking at it closely, you wouldn't feel anything strange about it. Only when you looked at it with your eyes would you feel that shocking feeling. After 15 minutes, if you don't send over the origin crystals, everyone in your origin sect will be instantly annihilated. The old man sat there as if he was speaking to himself. Those words were absorbed by the jade and sent to the origin sect tens of thousands of kilometers away. However, this old man knows that your origin sect doesn't have anything valuable. Forget it, all of you just take out all your bags and the things in your storage spaces and this old man will pretend none of this happened. Not only will this dispel your danger, I'll also send a letter to your everlasting sect master. This old man rarely shows this kind of compassion, so think about it carefully. As the old man spoke, he shook his head. He controlled the tone of his words very well and grasped it perfectly. After he finished speaking, he opened his eyes. His eyes shined and he revealed a smug sneer. He had already received information that the origin sect would likely be disbanded, so he had waited here. He had waited for the cultivators to return from the competition, and while they were all panicking, he could succeed in one go. However, due to the everlasting sect sealing all information, he didn't know about what had happened to the origin sect, nor of Wang Lin's existence. This has almost 100% chance of succeeding. This old man never does anything that could fail. It's a pity that this old man can't show up in person. That Liu Yanfei is known as the #1 beauty in the rank 5 region. Unfortunate. If this old man could taste a fairy, that would be wonderful. The old man sighed and looked at the jade. The pride in his eyes was even stronger. He raised his hand to reach for the jade. However, just at this moment, a cold voice echoed in the room. Liu Jinbao. This voice appeared too suddenly and frightened the old man enough that he almost jumped into the air. His face instantly paled as he turned to see a person standing in the corner of the room. This person had white hair, white robe, and his gaze was cold. When the old man met this person's gaze, his mind trembled and he immediately coughed out blood. The old man's eyes were filled with monstrous fear as he exclaimed, "Nirvana Shatterer, old monster." After he spoke, he rushed forward and went for the window to escape. Wang Lin coldly stared at the old man as he lifted his foot and took a step. A heaven-shaking pressure spread out, causing the old man to tremble and cough out blood once more. The old man was terrified as he screamed in terror, "Jade, protect me." The jade floating in the air shined and shot at the old man. It was fast, even Wang Lin only saw a blur before it arrived before the old man. It released a bright glow and took the old man. Then they smashed through the window and shot into the sky. The moment the old man escaped, Wang Lin's right hand pushed forward. Endless origin energy gathered from all directions toward the old man. However, just as it closed in on the old man, the light from the jade shined brightly and a thunderous rumble echoed. Wang Lin's attack that could kill Nirvana Shatterer cultivators unexpectedly collapsed. The old man wasn't injured at all, thanks to the protection of the jade, and charged off into the distance. Wang Lin's mind trembled as he stared at the escaping old man. He wasn't looking at the old man, but at that jade. This old man named Liu Jinbao was what appeared in the last picture when Wang Lin was predicting his future. However, Wang Lin was puzzled because this old man's cultivation level was really too low. From the looks of it, he had just broken through the ascendant stage and reached the illusionary yin stage. Even if hundreds of him were put together, they wouldn't be able to resist Wang Lin's attack. However, the old man wasn't injured at all with the protection of the jade. This made Wang Lin's eyes shine. What kind of jade is this? Wang Lin chased after the old man like crazy. The old man was pale and blood was flowing down from the corner of his mouth. His eyes were filled with panic that had never appeared before. He had cheated people for many years, and due to the jade, he had never been found. He had also been very careful to not be found, but now someone had found him and was after him. Nirvana shatter old monster. Just thinking about the other person's cultivation level, the old man became even more fearful. He only hated that he couldn't escape faster. Jade, Jade, I'll depend on you for this crisis. You have never disappointed me before. Today's life and death crisis will depend on you. You have to help me. Most of the origin crystals I cheated were absorbed by you. The old man's face was even paler, but his words seemed to have an effect. The jade shined once more and the old man's speed increased. However, when the old man had escaped tens of thousands of kilometers away, ripples appeared before him and Wang Lin walked out. He waved his right hand. Thunderous rumbles echoed, then a powerful storm appeared and collided with the jade. A thunderous rumble echoed as if the world was going to be torn apart. However, the light from the jade didn't seem damaged at all. It changed directions and continued to escape. I want to see where you're going to run. Wang Lin's voice was cold, and as he spoke, his hands formed seals. Large amounts of restrictions appeared and shot toward that jade. This video will end here.